Nairobi 2019 with a mission of strengthening Africa machine learning is currently underway at the Kenyatta University. The annual meeting of the Africa Machine Learning Community has brought together members of Africa's artificial intelligence community for the week-long event of teaching, research, exchange, and debate around the state of art in machine learning and artificial intelligence in Africa as it is right now. Kenyatta University provides high-quality programs and has invested heavily in infrastructure and world-class facilities and offers a nurturing environment in which students learn and grow.
Pathogens that are present, double infections between HIV and, let's say,
joining me right now to paint a picture of how the Deep Learning Indaba is currently progressing is a chairperson, Department of Computing and Information Technology, Kenyatta University, Dr. Harrison Njoroge, as well as Cynthia Thuo, who is a student, School of Engineering, Department of Electric and Electrical Engineering. That's right. Welcome to KUTV 1, and thank you so much for choosing to speak with us. Let me ask of your impression of the Deep Learning Indaba Nairobi 2019 so far, Dr.
It's very impressive. The attendance is so good. We have representatives from 48 countries across the globe, and the participants in number, they are over 700 already reported and participating in it. They are showing projects related to machine learning, specifically artificial intelligence.
Right.
Yes.
I'll push this to you, Cynthia. You are studying in the line of electric and electrical engineering, and definitely there's a lot of machine learning and adoption of artificial intelligence in all fields, I'd say. And even specifically now in your field, you'll be getting to embrace that much more. You are an AI enthusiast. What was your impression when you heard that the Deep Learning Indaba 2019 was actually coming to Nairobi, not just in Nairobi, at your doorstep in Kenyatta University?
Well, I felt very happy because I knew it was a great opportunity that students are supposed to take up. It's an opportunity to learn. It's an opportunity to get your voice heard. It's also an opportunity to get to implement what you've learned into solving the problems that are there in your society. An opportunity to changing your mindset.
Right.
Yes.
And we were talking earlier on about a particular session, Women in AI, that was organized. And neither Dr. nor myself were allowed to get in on that, obviously. And you were telling me that it actually has woken you up to the simple fact that these opportunities are available and they're accessible, not on any basis, on any gender basis, I'd say. Right, what was the best, perhaps, presentation that really got you awake to this fact?
The best presentation was by Aisha. Aisha is in IBM. So she was just talking about her projects, which is one in traffic, the other one is in healthcare. Yeah, and she was showing her journey and the reason behind her story, because it's not all about technology, it's also about what that technology is being used to solve. Yeah, so her showcasing her projects and explaining more on them, and even going to the nitty-gritty details of being honest, made me know that it is possible to solve actually the problems that are around you, and these SDG goals can actually be achieved. So having ladies that are showing projects that are in AI and they're showing you that it's actually possible makes you change your mindset.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Dr.
Yes.
You are also a proponent of AI, and it's a revolution that we can all agree it's here with us and we can't do anything about it. Yeah. We'd rather just take advantage of it. Traffic has been mentioned as one of the mega situations that we actually need to adopt AI to help us solve in Nairobi. Yes. 50 million Kenya shillings lost daily in wasted work hours in traffic. Yes. And that is a big figure, especially when you look at it now in the larger scale. Talk to me about the opportunity that AI has for Africa right now.
If I may use the case or the example you've used of traffic, you know, it's meant to predict so that you'll be knowing which route, which is the possible route that I can use, such that I don't get up caught in the jam, to lose this money in the fuel, time wastage, and so on. So programs have been presented, like the one she has quoted of Aisha. In fact, she was giving the case of Nairobi. She seems to have lived in Nairobi, although she's American, where she has done a project where you can be able to predict even before you leave your house, which is the simplest route and is traffic-less or free.
Right.
Yes.
Should we be worried about intelligence machines coming in to replace human beings?
No. In fact, we should adopt and make use of them.
Right.
I don't think they will replace us.
Right.
At one time, human intervention will be required.
At one
Because
time.
at one time, because programming itself, the machine cannot program. It has to be programmed by a human being. So the human intervention part is there. But then we require people who are intelligent in that. That's why we are bringing our teens in this conference.
We'll be getting into your conversation about teens,
Yes.
teens in AI.
Yes.
There's a very interesting concept. You are one of the mentors there, Cynthia. We'll be getting to talk about that. But let me get you back onto exactly the 3 days that we've had the Deep Learning Indaba right now going on at Kenyatta University. I don't know what perhaps might have made Kenyatta University stand out as the host varsity, I'd say, because there's several institutions within Nairobi.
Yeah.
What gave your department the edge to agree to even host this?
I think just recalling what they told me when they came to KU, because they were sent to the department to come and talk to us.
Right.
They told us the first two have been held in South Africa, and in the second one they decided, that is 2018, the next one will be held in Kenya. Now the issue was to identify the actual university, because Indaba is all about partnership with the artificial intelligence group and the public universities.
Right.
So they chose KU. I think it was their landing point, and we received them well. And we have, to the expectation, I think we've done towards the expected.
Right. Where does the varsity stand when it comes to research and issues to do with deep learning and even artificial intelligence right now?
In KU?
Right.
Yes, we have. Like in that, our students are participating. My master's students, my PhD students are in that presentations. They are there. So we have a group that already has taken an interest in that, and they have projects. They are working on them.
Right.
Yes.
Amazing. You are participating. Perhaps take me through the routine, day, morning, all the way to evening. What exactly are the most important sections that you'd rather not miss to anything else in the world right now?
First is the keynotes in the morning, because not unless you understand what you're going to, like you are motivated to do something, you will not have the momentum to do it. So the keynotes are quite important. And then there is introduction to some concepts where we are broken into groups, and then you go to be introduced to, for example, neural networks. There is artificial, there is convolution, and then there is recurrent. So there are times when you're divided into groups and sessions where you go and undertake them, and then after that you go and do practical sessions, that is in the afternoon. So after you're given the basics of what you are supposed to practice, you now go and practice them in the labs. They have outlines which guide you more. You have tutors, they are mentors rather.
Right.
Yeah, so if you have questions that weren't addressed when you were being taught about the basics, you can ask the mentor. Yeah, so then after that, there are evening sessions which are quite interesting, like the one you were talking about on Monday on women in AI. And then yesterday there was an Apple talk. Yes, those ones are quite important because they help you see the big picture. It's not just about learning, but rather applying or seeing where they've been applied or who are applying them in the industry. It helps you broaden your mind. Yeah, so basically that's it.
Right. Daktari, the world is a big data problem.
Yeah.
How can we take advantage of data to help solve some of the problems you're facing right now in Kenya? Across the board, from politics to social problems to health problems. How can we take advantage of that? Because right now, I think the main concern, even at the Deep Learning Indaba, is the simple fact that we have data, but none of it is ever put centrally and anything deduced from it to help make the situation more bearable for us.
I think such conferences are the route to take.
Right.
Because people are getting imparted with that knowledge. So the next thing will be to apply. Because even in Kenya, we have that data. But how do we make use of it? And I believe the major thing is the resources, the human resource. And that's why Indaba is really coming up and helping us in a very big way.
Right.
One, we are seeing what big organizations, IBM, Google, are doing using data that is currently available. So we are learning from it.
Right.
Yes.
Big data. Huduma number comes to mind when you mentioned that. We have the national census going on right now. They're taking digital data. That's also another big data that we'll be looking at. Should we in the near future, predict a place where some of this data, perhaps using data scientists who are within, will be used to actually make determinations, not political, but to inform political decisions and policy that will actually get to impact common mwananchi, because that's the major concern.
Yeah, sure.
Wow.
We expect people to take that line. And I think it is even applying. Organizations like banks have a lot of data that needs to be utilized. And that's why programs like a computer science, PhD level, master's level, you know, they will take that. By the way, the participants there are PhD students, master's students, and even undergraduates. We have even lecturers who are participating, and we have people from the industry, the big IT industries.
Right.
Yeah.
And we can mention the likes of IBM,
IBM,
Apple
Google,
is participating,
yes,
Google
Microsoft.
It's
Microsoft.
amazing. And having
Yes.
all these people come here at Nairobi. Let me bring this back to you, Cynthia. You are a mentor at teens in AI.
Yes.
These are young people right now who are enthusiastic about artificial intelligence. Let me start from the point of, what do teens know about AI?
I'll start.
Of course, you've interacted with them.
Yes, yes,
What,
yes.
what do they know about AI?
Most of that, some of them have actually, funny enough, some of them have an idea about AI, others are complete beginners. Yes, so we work with the organizers. We have organizers and we also have the people who are behind it. One of them is called Elena and the other one is called Wayne and Fidel. So they are the major organizers, yes. So some of them know, some of them don't know. And then now we have the mentors. So what we actually do is we begin from a level where we assume no one knows anything. Yeah, so you introduce the new concept and you make it relevant to them. And you help them, because you see what artificial intelligence is about actually. It has a lot of maths, probability and statistics, yes. So making them know that, because most of them are in high school, they've learned probability and statistics, they see the reality of it so that they can know where to use it to solve problems that are around them, yes. So you see, like now, like I was saying, not every problem needs to be solved by artificial intelligence. It's just problems that in a situation where you have a lot of data, like a lot of data, that is where we need to solve it using artificial intelligence, because AI is just a machine mimicking thinking of the human.
Right.
Yes. So
A little faster now, I'd say, like mimicking a human's working, but a little faster.
Yes.
Just to hasten the process of computation, I believe.
Yes.
Let me cut you there,
Okay.
Daktari.
Yeah.
Starting from a point where you assume that no one knows anything about artificial intelligence, that's how you introduce the teenagers to it. We have a lot of people who are watching right now and they see AI, they see deep learning as a big opportunity, but they totally don't understand all the jargon that we're throwing around. Before you even mention the word algorithm, because that's normally the next one that comes up, I had a friend yesterday just call me to ask me what that means. And it was interesting giving just that one line definition. Briefly break down what deep learning and artificial intelligence should mean to any common mwananchi out there.
Deep learning, or the AI, like she said, is the issue of how you would program a machine to behave like a human being.
Right.
So you need somebody to write that software. So that is the basic thing.
The basic of it.
Yes,
Right.
because what do you do? This is a machine, and you want it to behave like the way I would behave, reason the way I would reason to some extent. So when you're doing that, the software that you're going to write, or the instructions that you have to give the machine so that it does that, forms a part of what we are calling the artificial intelligence.
Right.
That's why we talk of, it is artificial. It's not the actual intelligence that me and you have. Yes.
Right.
The machine thinks through the instructions, or it is the instruction you give that will make the machine do what you expect it to be done.
Right.
Yes.
The future of the workforce is in STEM. Kindly debate that.
STEM, yes, it is, because technology is required. Science must be there. And we have it. It's being done in schools, although our children, some of them don't want to participate in it.
Right.
And that's why we are coming and trying to model them. The teens are people who are in school.
Right.
That was our target. So that these guys will go knowing there's somewhere we are heading, or there's something we can do through this other line. Yes. Yes.
It's studying technology. Is it hard, Cynthia? I'm curious because a lot of people want to have that geek look, somebody with specs, perhaps slim, tall, and walking around awkwardly on headphones. Do you have to be that for you to study and actually get to implement projects on technology?
Well, I would say it's all about the mentality, yes, because your mentality makes you see things as hard or easy. So yeah, so there are times where your mentality will make you see things as hard, but it will be your tenacity that will make you push through. So even through those times when it looks like it's hard, when it is totally not hard, because once someone is able to break down something into bits that you can understand, you will understand, or if you can be able to break it down yourself. So technology is not hard. When you know where to apply it, you will have the motivation to study it, even when you're not entirely grasping it. So you can go back there and grasp it better.
Right.
Yes.
What would you tell technologists? Because there has been an issue about them coming up with very important developments that could really steer us forward, but then communicating it to the people at the authority level or people who are at the politicians who control the issues, that becomes now a problem per se. How do we move forward? How do we get the two to agree on certain issues? Because yet again, you're looking at a politician who doesn't want to appear like they don't know what they're doing, so they won't even consult or ask. And then you're looking at a technologist who doesn't know how to converse or put it out there in a way that a politician could understand better. What would you tell either sides? Because it's eminent, they have to work together
They have
if
to
we're
work
to move to the
together.
future.
But I think one, it's the funding that is required, and we have the politicians, they're the people who make the law, they're the people who decide what money should go where. So I think if they can accept that and even propel it by funding it, I think it will move forward.
Right.
It can move forward. And then by accepting to fund it, they'll have also accepted that technology is here with us.
Right.
And I think that's what is missing. Maybe somebody doesn't see the importance of it, but it is important. And unless the right tools or resources are availed, it may not go far.
Right.
Yes.
Then
So
how
I
do we
think the
go
first
about
thing
it?
is to educate them.
Right. So how do we go about it as young people in technology, Cynthia?
I think we ought to embrace technology because it is the way forward.
No, we have embraced it. Now it's on how we make it known to the people who actually have control of systems and policy makers in the country to also get to embrace the same. How do we go about it? Dactarius pointed out perhaps it's now time they woke up to it, but how do we motivate that as young people in technology?
I think we ought to create sessions where there are hackathons exposed. For example, sometimes we have hackathons by companies, for example, by Safaricom, and projects get chosen. I think like the Ministry of Education and the ICT ministry also ought to come into this. Yes, so they can air these things, they can see what exactly is happening, because our young people have a lot of innovative ideas starting from the grassroots. Yes, starting from even the teens, even the small ones, they come up with great ideas and you're bewildered. Yes, so I think they ought to come and see it from the grassroots, from the universities. There are a lot of clubs, technological oriented clubs. For example, Developer Students Association in KU, there is the IEEE in KU, in UON, they're all over, and they normally organize hackathons. So if probably they could air more of them and see and be open-minded too, because some of the ideas get blocked at the middle stage, so that they can get even more funding when they have already transformed their mentality, so they can be more open-minded. That will be really nice.
Right.
Yes.
Let me bring this back to you, Dr. Njoroge. Kindly paint for me a picture into the near future now for both the Teams in AI event currently going on at Kenyatta University, as well as the Deep Learning Indaba. What are some of, I'd say, what are some of the things you see coming out of the two events that are running concurrently right now?
One, we expect we'll have people who will take over at one time or even sooner, because they've been introduced at a young age. Some of us are doing these things at our old age, and when we are almost maybe towards the peak. Yeah? So you can imagine somebody starts when he's in secondary school or primary school. That person has all the time. And he or she will have made up his or her mind what she wants in the university. And since we have innovation centers in most universities, like in KU we have the Chandaria. So, and these are the people we are looking upon to come and come up with good ideas which can develop into even industries using IT. Yes.
Thank you so much for making time for KUTV News. Cynthia Thuo and Dr. Harrison Njoroge, Chairperson, Department of Computing and Information Technology, Kenyatta University, speaking to us about the Deep Learning Indaba Conference currently going on at Kenyatta University, as well as on the sidelines, we have Teens in AI, an interesting development, at least, that I'll also be getting to follow up on, just to make sure that you are more updated on this. Keep tweeting at KUTV Kenya. We'll be getting to sample much more of that as we continue. You can also get to me at V_Dundo. I'll be getting to take a look at that on the sidelines of the Deep Learning Indaba Conference, which will be airing live on KUTV this afternoon and every other day, at least until it's done. We take a short breather. We're back with much more.